Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Joseph Novichkov, Senior Trading Manager with GDM. Let's start today's outlook first with the Japanese markets. They slipped despite the release of government data hinting at a stabilization in domestic demand. However, the country's seasonal adjusted unemployment rate was quite steady in October at about 3%. That was the same level as August. Also, household spending in Japan fell about 0.4% on year in October, but of course it fell at a slower pace than the estimate of about 0.6% decline. As we can see, the Nikkei 225 index is down almost about 50 points or about 0.27% at 18,307.04. Also, Chinese mainland markets were quite mixed, with the Shanghai Composite closing up about 6.35 points or about 0.2% in the positive side, as we can see at 3283.35. And the Shenzhen Composite fell about 16.46 points or about 0.77% at 2110.36. The Japanese yen was trading at a rate of 1.12.56 on the dollar, or that's slightly higher on the day for the pair at 0.6% higher or about 0.62 on the yen, as the focus on talks between OPEC members and the political uncertainties around a key referendum in Italy is taking the Stoxx European 600 index slightly higher in the current trading at about 0.04% or about 0.12 points. However, basic resources stocks fell more than 1.8% due to a contraction in metal prices. Meanwhile, President Mario Draghi of the European Central Bank warned on Monday that Britain will feel the pain from Brexit before the Eurozone. Draghi also asked for clarity over the upcoming negotiations. As we can see, the euro is trading right now slightly lower, and that was on the back of some of the comments that we saw in yesterday's Mario Draghi speech. However, most of that particular announcements were released in today's session. As you can see, the euro is trading slightly down about 0.25% or about 25 pips on the negative territory versus the dollar at 1.0588, and that is actually climbing from below of 1.055, and this was on last week's trade. The pound, however, traded at 1.2518 versus the dollar. That was little changed on the day, up about 0.04% or just about 5 pips up. Gold was steady early on Tuesday after rising 0.9% in the previous session, as the euro-US dollar held on to losses after bond yields came off their multi-month highs. Gold was mostly unchanged, 0.2% on the negative side, about $2.45 down or at 1188.25. And that was after the metal rose, as we mentioned, 0.9%, that touched a high of 1197.57 at the previous session. Oil prices fell about 0.5% or about 49 to the dollar cents to the dollar, and that is at 46.59. Ahead of the official meeting on Wednesday with the OPEC and non-OPEC members in Vienna. Of course, that is to prop up prices. US West Texas Intermediate crude futures are expected to hover around the 46 level for the time being until we see the conclusion of Wednesday's meeting. In the calendar today, US GDP data for the third quarter at 13:30, and of course consumer confidence also for US at 1500. That's the most important news of today. Stay in touch and of course expect major volatilities on the majors and commodities as well. That's all for today. I'll see you tomorrow again. Bye-bye.